I'm Dave Mercer.
And I'm Matt Pangrac.
And welcome back to the CULL, a weekly sport fishing debate show where we discuss hot topics in the world of fishing. This week's question: keep or cull the Alabama rig in professional tournaments? Clearly, it is illegal in all professional tournaments, so I'm going to say I'll cull having the Alabama rig. I think that was the right call. I mean, if I'm getting it right, Panger.
You want to keep progress and innovation out of the sport more than a decade after this thing came to the forefront in the fall of 2011 with Paul Elias on the famed bridges of Guntersville. Yeah. You still want to deny one of the most productive baits to hit the market that is now no longer a mystery magic bait that works everywhere, but is now a tool, part of the arsenal that anglers use, but no longer dominates except in very specific instances, most of which professional tournaments don't take place in. Bassmaster, MLF, your podcast, my podcast, we're all about educating anglers, helping them catch more fish, entertain, educate, and engage. I feel like the ban on the Alabama rig and multi-lure rigs, it includes the donkey rig, the double fluke rig, all sorts of unique rigs that were not banned before, but now are banned. I remember watching Marty Robinson on Lake Murray fish the double fluke, how enthralled I was with it. The skill and technique that he used with the multiple swivels to get the flukes to act like blueback herrings. All that went by the wayside with the Alabama rig. And I think it's time now that it's been over a decade and we've seen that it is not the catch-all, end-all, be-all in tournament bass fishing. It's not going to be 9 tournaments where guys are throwing umbrella rigs. I think it's time to bring it back. I think it's time to welcome it into professional fishing with open arms. And just like the jerkbait dominates early in the year, yeah, you might have the Alabama rig thrown in now, but I think it's time to see it.
I think on paper that all makes sense, but I think in real life it doesn't. I think the reason that the Alabama rig has only become a seasonal thing and the reason that it only works at certain lakes at certain times of the year is because that's the only chance they've had for that rig to evolve. You have to remember, you put something in a top level pro's hands and they take everything to the extreme. They take everything to a bigger, better level than anybody ever imagined in the past. I mean, we have people look at the graph situation in pro fishing. None of that happens in recreational fishing. I mean, you got guys strapping batteries to their batteries to make sure that their graphs continue to run and continue to run at an optimal level because they take everything. What does this have to do with an Alabama rig, Dave? Slow down. It's my time to talk, Panger. What I do think is if they had the Alabama rig and if it became legal, we would see that become part of every other element in the sport. You'd see guys throwing Alabama frog rigs. You'd see guys throwing Alabama, jerkbait rigs, Alabama. It would be because once you go hunting with a submachine gun, it's hard to give somebody a slingshot back. And that's what it feels like. After you catch them on an Alabama rig, you're like, so I got to go back and now catch them on one lure with one hook. This doesn't seem like it's effective at all. So I think that by stopping the Alabama rig, they stopped an evolution we would have seen. And that evolution is multi-bait rigs because your opportunity to catch more fish exponentially goes up with the more baits that you have in the water, just like the Alabama rig. And I think you'd see multiple bait rigs, and there's a lot of negativity that comes with those baits. They hook fish in other parts of their body, outside of the mouth. And I think ultimately it would have become something very negative. And the best thing that angling ever did was not allow it because it stopped that from happening. It stopped that evolution into every other type of bait. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Rules and regulations. Just because it might be legal in Oklahoma to throw 5 hooks or double Alabama rigs and put 10 hooks and look like you just stole your grandma's chandelier and you're throwing it on the water doesn't mean you have to. You can strap a 450 horsepower engine on the back of a boat and you can put 9 graphs on a boat legally. But in the tournament scenario, they maxed it at 250. There was a rod length there. You can put it, you can say, why not a 1 hook? Then that takes care of all of the state regulations, the 3 hooks in some states, the 1 hook in other states. Why not have 1 hook, but allow multi-baits? And I don't buy the frog and the trap. And you've never seen a school of frogs. You don't think guys have tried that? When was the last time you saw someone win a tournament in a pad field with 5 frogs on there? or anything like
Because
that. And
it
plus,
didn't
it's
happen.
innovation. But it's innovation. I would want to see that. If I could have 4 fish blowing up on my Frogabama rig, I'd be all over that. Do you imagine the live viewers that you would get from that? I think it's holding back the innovation. I think at first, people didn't look at it as a tool. They looked at it as a magic bait. I think it is now a tool. Just like the forward-facing sonar, as you say, well, everybody in the top 10 would be using the umbrella rig. Well, everyone in the top 10 is using forward-facing sonar with a jerkbait now. We haven't banned that.
And how much worse would an Alabama rig make that whole approach?
It would at least it would be very interesting. I think it would be time for specific tournaments. There are other tournaments where you go where 8 of the top 10 are doing the same thing and we don't complain about it. But for some reason, if everyone in the top happens to be throwing an umbrella rig, we say, oh, well, they only caught him because they're throwing an umbrella rig. Just like the top forward-facing sonar anglers in the world, there is a section of people that say, well, I might catch them like that too if I had that forward-facing sonar. No, there's a skill to it. I live in the Mecca of Alabama rig world in the Ozarks, and guess what? For a year or two, guys you didn't hear of caught the heck out of them on it. But guess who's catching them now in all these Alabama rig tournaments? The same guys who caught them before. I think the cream will rise to the top, and it will be just another tool in the toolbox and provide some more excitement and more opportunities to see different techniques catch fish. Plus, could you imagine having 3 fish with 30 minutes left and you're on Bass Live and you're fishing a deep school and you lock up on one and you're just keeping it down there? I mean, it would be interesting if you didn't do the one hook thing. But here's my deal. I think you keep Alabama rigs at the top level of professional bass fishing, umbrella rigs, multi-rigs. That brings back in the donkey rig. It brings back in some other techniques that have been used that do utilize multiple, but you regulate it. You limit it. No 5 hooks, no 10 hooks, no 50 arms. You make it basic. You bring that tool back in their toolbox when it's effective.
Well, I disagree. I think that there's no place for it. But then after you said the Frogabama rig, I did get excited about that. I'll be honest. I might have changed my thought because I would just love to see a Frogabama rig. Let us know what you guys think. Should the Alabama rig be allowed in tournaments or not?